and see what sort of food deliveries we can find. We are mostly looking to try to get our acceptance rate on DoorDash back up to 70% and Top Dasher. So that is kind of like goal number one, if we can do that. And then any money that we can make beside that is also good as well. But I had plenty of other projects and other things going on today, so I'm not super worried if we don't make a ton of cash tonight. It's just kind of going out because it is Tuesday. It is supper, and if there are good orders, we don't want to miss those. So I'm just slowly, I got to get out, and I just got to get out. I just filled up with gas here because we were on like -E. We're just about out, and I'm just going to work my way downtown. So we're going to head over just north of the mall, kind of that outback area. We will have Uber Eats on and Grubhub. In fact, I'm going to close all my windows. I got like so many different windows open on my phone. Lots of windows open, so many tabs. All right, here we go. So we're going to get Uber Eats on. We're going to get DoorDash on in just a few minutes. We're going to get Instacart and Grubhub on now. So that's basically the plan. I don't really have a goal. I would just say like even $50 tonight is fine. I'm not planning on being out super late. I haven't delivered since Sunday. I took yesterday off from delivery, not from work, just from delivery work. Work on some YouTube projects, and we're working on trying to get moving and everything else. Kevin, good evening to you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here tonight. Appreciate you. Is it chilly up by you as well? Florida cold, at least? Shall we call it Florida cold? It's been absolutely wonderful waking up to 50-degree mornings, highs in the low 70s, just phenomenally beautiful weather. After suffering through all of our heat, humidity, and thunderstorms for 8 months, I'm going to enjoy my 4 or 5 months of nice, clean, crisp weather. So it's normal Tuesday night. I have low expectations for weekday nights. Tuesday is like a hard day. It's a hard day to usually find lots of stuff, find lots of orders. I just would not expect that to be, I would not expect there to be a lot out here. So, Vincenzo, how's it going? Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight. We're out looking for some food delivery orders to deliver. So we're just kind of moving our way from where we are. We're not really in a great restaurant area per se. Good evening, Kaylee. How are you? Oh, wow, you're supposed to get into the 30s? I haven't even looked to see how cold we're supposed to get down here. We obviously don't get quite as cold as you guys do. The further north you go, the further cold it gets. But I will check because it is definitely crisp. So it's currently 64 degrees. They're saying we're supposed to get down to 45 tonight. I think that's going to be our coldest day so far. It says we didn't even get to 70 degrees today, so we're in the 60s. Every day that you do a delivery, Kaylee, I feel like is a weird day. My most normal days are the days that I do not get in the car and go out for delivery. But it's like if I go out for delivery, it's like something weird is going to happen somewhere. So this is my first set of deliveries for today. I'm not trying to do that. Yeah, it's cold everywhere. Like for this time of year, it's cold everywhere. I feel like there's been more snow football games already than I remember from last year. I mean, I do remember it was really cold. Obviously in the playoffs, it was like super cold in Kansas City. But that's like January, but for December to be as cold as we've had it here. All right. Well, for 2 days in a row, I completed a Facebook Marketplace sale. I had 1 ton. I think they were 1-ton car jacks, and I sold one yesterday for 50. Sold the second one today for 40. So we got both of those out. I've been moving them everywhere, so they're heavy, and I was sick and tired of moving them. I was just ready to take any sort of good offer. I had lots of people lowball me on them, but I knew my price was probably a little high, but I knew their prices were way too low. So it worked out. So we got 50 and 40, so that's $90 in Facebook Marketplace. Amazon sales are just on fire today. We're at $570 in Amazon sales today, which is absolutely great. Our sales were actually pretty slow for Cyber Monday, but then today I just lowered prices to keep things moving, and that did the trick. So didn't have to lower prices much. Most of them you have to lower like 30 cents, 50 cents, $1, not much at all. So it doesn't take much to sometimes jump to the front of the line on Amazon. So that was good. No sales on eBay today. In fact, the one coffee mug I sold yesterday, they actually canceled their order. So it's almost like negative sales on eBay for the day. But it was good. It was good. Got a lot of paperwork done for our next house. So hopefully we're moving in next week, but we shall see. First order of the night is $2 for 3 miles on Uber Eats. Definitely not taking that. So it's sunset time. It's going to get dark here quick. And I'm starting tonight as silver. You don't really ever go to gold on DoorDash unless for some reason you just can't keep the sheer number of deliveries higher. I can take this one. This is really backed up tonight. Gotcha. Spark is gonna miss you and send you a letter, Kaylee. Like, how come you never visit me anymore? Sometimes I find though it's kind of nice to have that break, and then when you go back to an app that you haven't used for a week or even a couple of days, it's like, oh, it kind of feels fresh again. Fresh, exciting, all those sorts of things. So I had a little piece of chicken and a bun for supper tonight. It was just I cooked up chicken for everybody as they were coming home from school, and I wanted to make sure they had enough real food. So $13 for 7 mile double on Uber Eats with a bad drop off, so I passed on that. When I turn back on DoorDash, I basically have to take everything unless it's horrible, but if I decline one, it's like at least 2 that I have to take to get back up to where I want to go. So I'm kind of hoping that there's at least, I just have no idea how many orders I'm gonna have to take to get back to that 70%. The end of my last shift, I had paused orders, and it did not matter to DoorDash. They still sent me an order even after I had paused, and it was bad. So I had to decline it because I'm trying to keep all my other metrics high. Trying not to, and they messed me up on my cancellation rate the other day, or my completion rate. The app glitched, and then my completion rate went from 100% to 99%. So I'm just like, it's like herding cats, trying to get all your metrics right on Amazon or on DoorDash is like herding cats, because as soon as you fix one thing, sure enough, there's going to be something else that's going to be broken in it. But so far, We've managed to keep the 5-star customer rating. So I just got to go like another mile here, zigzag, and we'll be downtown near hopefully some good restaurants that we have, and hopefully find some good orders as well. Well, the guy in front of me decided to sit all the way through the green light and not actually go through the light when it was green. So we got to sit through an entire rotation, even though he's like halfway out into the intersection. Like, the whole point of doing that is that way when the light turns yellow and then you clear the intersection. But the guy in front of us didn't really care so much. However, we'll give him a friendly little honk if he doesn't move right away here. Oh, he's moving like a snail too. Moving like a snail. Doesn't know where he's going. Let's go. Let's go, bro. Alright, I'm just trying to basically cut through this neighborhood to get to the restaurants on 41. I don't know why traffic, maybe it's just what it be, but traffic was like backed up everywhere. So I couldn't take my normal route to downtown, and then my alternate route, that was backed up. Now we got just another car parked in the middle of the road. This has been like a thing here recently. Cars just parking in the middle of the road. Like, just not going anywhere. Just like, hey, look, it's a road. I have a car. Let me stop in the middle of it. It's not on the main streets, mind you, but it is on like all these little back roads. And it's not like they don't put their flashers on. It's not like they're temporary parking. They're just like parked. It's what they do. Yes, Jaeger, all is well. It's another day. It's my first, I don't even have a delivery yet, but going out for deliveries for the first time today. $36, but it's 25 miles. I mean, technically your dollars per mile is good, but then that's 20 miles back. So it's like $36 for 45 miles. So I passed on that. Passing on that. Which really stinks too, because that could have a hidden tip on it, but Uber Eats does not want the best tipping customers to get the best service. So they tend to just not show you the full tip sometimes, and then it means less experienced drivers take them, because the most experienced ones are smart enough not to do that. I mean, if that had been a $50 order, we would just take it, because it might take me 2 hours, but we'd be all good. And it very well could be a $50 offer, but I just can't. And I mean, that very well could be the best offer that we see all night. So, 'tis life. 'Tis the life of an Uber Eats driver. Yeah. It's the game. It's the game you gots to play. You gots to play the game. The goal is to make you feel bad if you take it and make you feel bad if you don't. They walk a fine psychological line. They're going to entice you just enough to keep you coming back, but not enough that you never could get free from it either. So it's like a beautiful, beautiful mess that they put together. All right, well, we're downtown here finally. I have zero plan. Zero plan. Try not to get stupid orders. That's my plan. I'm just gonna go sit at Carrabba's. I really have no plan. It's Tuesday night. I just really want to get 2 or 3 orders. I had to go on earn per offer. There's no earn by time available on DoorDash. So now I do have all my dashes scheduled out here. So I've got multiple days to get back to Platinum Dasher. So I have the time to get back, but will I have the patience? Well, that's a good order. No, Kaylee, on Sunday night, I paused orders after delivery, and then they still sent me an order after I paused orders. So they do that. They like to do that. And then I declined it because it was really bad. So it knocked me to 69%. So I'm sitting there, but I knew that was a chance, especially after the dash off on Saturday, because I was trying to cherry pick the dash off. I took something like 11 straight orders on Sunday, and I think I took 11 out of 12 orders, and my acceptance rate went from 71 to 70. So I'm just in a big stretch of of completed orders, which is usually what happens. And then you can cherry pick, and then like there's always like there's like a sweet spot where for a couple of days you maybe can have like a 50% acceptance rate. So I try to line those up on the weekends as much as possible. But it's not sustainable long term because you can't keep the 70% if you only accept 50%. That's how math works. Oh no, I'm just tired. I'm cold, I'm tired. So I don't have the energy. I'm gonna work on it this upcoming year. But some of these YouTubers consistently have the energy. And it's a lot easier to have the energy when you are like at home, when you're comfortable, you're in your studio and different things like that. Dave's MX6, how's it going? Well, yeah, so my motivation is to get platinum back, but it's not really that. It's more physical. It's more, yeah. It's like 65 degrees here. I mean, Kayla, here's the simple thing is I don't really want to be doing food delivery much longer. That's my motivation. My motivation to get done with it is to get out here and make the money that I have to make from food delivery, and then pour the rest of my time into the real ways that I want to be making money. So, but this is a natural byproduct of this. All right, it's a junky order. $6 for 8 miles on DoorDash. We're going to accept it. Let's see. If it gets us, let's see what acceptance rate. Did it move us up? No. All right, so we're just going to take it. That's like, I can complain about Florida cold all I want. It's my prerogative. It's YouTube. It's my channel. I can be whatever I want. So, no, like, I mean, I would just rather be home with my family, and so that is my motivation, but that motivation isn't always going to come out as hype on the chat every single time. So, there are days that it will, and then there's days that it won't. So, today is a day that I'm just tired. I'm worn out from a lot of different projects and stuff like that, and but we're out here. We're doing what we got to do. I always try to be real with you guys. I don't try to like fake it. You know, I try not to be like negative, but I also don't try to fake it and be like, look, I'm always happy all the time. All right, so we're taking this $6 for 8 mile Carrabba's. It's a no good. What's that? Harry and that horrible, lousy, no good, very bad day or whatever. I forget exactly how that book goes, but we're just paying the piper. Paying the piper. All right. Yeah, I'm just convinced in the long run, guys. I think all of these apps, none of them are going to get more profitable as time goes by, unless there's some sort of industry shift. I don't see it. Like, unless it's a shift towards the model of those who deliver the most get the best orders, but that's not the shift. The shift right now in the industry is we want no one to be making good money on our apps. And so that obviously is just not something that I'm excited to be a part of in the terms of the future of food delivery. So just in general for me, like, it's why, there's some days you just go to work, and I want to get to a point where I've got like the overflowing joy. I feel like I have joy in my life, but I don't know if it's like overflowing, effervescent joy coming out all the time. Good evening, Frog. How's it going? And yeah, so sometimes it is what it is. It's a hard part about being a content creator too, is like, do you want, what do you want as a viewer? Do you want someone who's authentic, or do you want someone who just plays a role on screen all the time? And I'm not saying some people are just authentically themselves, but for me, I just have days where I'm more hyped, and I have days where I'm less hyped, and I have days where it's like I'm excited to go out and see what we've got, and then I got other days where it's like, oh, you know what, if I didn't deliver food for the next week, I'd be pretty happy. And but that's part of the grind of you're hyped, Ryan. Hey, sometimes, but that's what you do, is you sometimes have to borrow. You have to sometimes borrow from other people. Oh, all right. They've got me going like crazy back roads here. I'm gonna get turned around. So I'm hyped to be with you guys. So I am hyped to be with you. And that's the ultimate, like, that's the reason why I'm doing this. Honestly, more like if there wasn't the accountability, it would be really easy to stay in and stay home tonight. Like, that's just telling you how I feel, for sure. So yeah, no, I mean, Walmart's, I think that's a really good question. And like, I'm totally up for just, it's already dark. Let's go philosophical. And yeah, no, I mean, so I'm trying to have what the Bible calls the fruit of the Spirit in my life: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. But the thing with fruit is, fruit doesn't necessarily always come quickly, right? You don't plant an apple tree and then pick fruit from it the next day. It takes time for it to develop. It takes time for the seed that's planted in you. And then sometimes, as the tree is growing, the tree can go through a hurricane, and the leaves will be damaged, and it'll maybe hinder it, or there'll be a drought, and all of a sudden the fruit's not juicy or whatever. So yeah, so there's a lot of things that I'm trying to do. And I mean, I would say in some areas of my life I have peace, in other areas I do not. And that's like the big juggle here. And one of the struggles, and I'm sure I will I'm sure at some point I'm going to make a video about this too when I'm through it. But there's a really there's an interesting struggle that I'm facing coming to the crossroads of YouTube creatorhood, right? So I want YouTube to be one of my primary income streams, and yet while there's little bits of income coming, it's obviously not to the level of being able to go full-time or even really part-time. It's just more like, I would say it's officially a side hustle now, with income that is coming in off of it. Like, it's officially a side hustle. But it's also not to the point where it's like I can just put in my time in doing Hold that 1 second. I can't just put in my time doing all the things I want to do right now because of life situations and different things. Dave's MX, can you throw the verse up for me if you get a chance? No, it's cool. But if you have a chance to do the verse, I'd love to do that. So yeah, so in terms of being pushed out of churches, so both times I was pushed out of church, I was on staff at the church. Once as a youth pastor, once as a lead pastor. And both circumstances were essentially similar. When I started at each of the churches, they said they were all about reaching out into the community, you know, getting new people to come in the walls of the church, you know, and things. As a youth pastor, it was that way for many years. And then towards the end, it just shifted to, well, we're just here to make the church people happy. And I just can't go along with that. I'm too principled to compromise when it comes to like my faith stuff like that. Like, no, that's not why I came here. It's, you know, like, I'm fine with saying, look, we maybe need to reset some things or reboot some things or whatever. But it got to one of those things where then they were telling me what to do, and then I would do the thing they would tell me to do and it wouldn't work, and then they would get upset that it wasn't working, even though I could have told them it wasn't going to work. So so there was that. And then in the second church, it was basically the same thing. They said they were all about reaching out into the community. And I'm going to tell you, within the first 2 weeks, I knew that they didn't actually mean that. They said it because it sounded good. That's what you're supposed to want to do as a church. So they wanted to sound good, but they really just wanted to, be comfortable. They didn't really care about reaching younger generations. They didn't really care, because we had new people coming in and we had new people who were becoming followers of Jesus. Like, it was good stuff. And, but the people who were in control, who had the power, didn't really like it. So once again, I'm just like, I'm not going to compromise who I am. And so I just stepped down. And so that was really a big part that led me down. The second one led me down into this struggle, because they were supposed to pay me, they're supposed to pay me for stuff. They just didn't pay me anything. They didn't give any severance. They just, like, we literally went from like having a full-time job to having no income. And so what I had to do is I had to get the Amazon store going as quick as possible, and then started throwing a bunch of products on the credit cards, and, you know, then through later circumstances, including 2020, we just could no longer keep up with those payments. And so now we're digging our way out. So, yeah, good tree, good fruit, bad tree, bad fruit. Very good. Yeah, no, I mean, that's for sure. And, but the other side of this is like, it's a struggle, you know, to be consistent, like, just in general in my life, being consistent has always been a struggle. So things like even just consistently going on and creating live videos and going on live streams for YouTube, like, that's a struggle for me to be consistent, because it's really easy for me to take off a day and then take off the next day and then take off the next day, and then before you know it, then I'm not streaming and I'm not going out and I'm not delivering and all those different things. So, you know, like, there's a lot of pieces to this, and I've always resolved from the beginning, like, I don't want to be, you know, like a liar. I don't want to be, like, I want to be real. Like, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I want to be real. Like there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, just like you guys got your emotions and different things like that. Oh, it's okay. I know the basic context, you know, once I saw it. It's like, that's a passage I just don't know the reference that well to. So we are like 5 miles away still for this delivery. Finally out from the busy part of downtown. This is $6 for 8 miles. Is what we're doing here. So it's like, there's a lot of things, and this is what you don't see from your polished creators, is trying to figure out the struggle of, okay, what does it look like turning this from a goal to be monetized to then what it looks like when you're actually monetized. There's lots of things, and how polished are you supposed to be? Long form video, I want to be a little more polished because that's a presentation I'm making for the day. But I don't know, like, I also want to be real, and it's trying to find that balance of what does being real look like. All right, more about the fruit of the Spirit. All right, so fruit, another way I like to rephrase the fruit of the Spirit is the evidence, the proof that God's Spirit, God's Holy Spirit is working in the life of a believer, is that they are exhibiting the traits of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Okay? So love. And some of this stuff you just kind of have to define by how the scripture defines. You can't define love by the way the world defines love, because the world defines love as just give a thumbs up and a high five to anyone for whatever they do. Whatever choice they make, it's good. If they want to live in a different way than what the Bible says, that's cool. If they want to do things like, no, love is laying down your life for someone else, or in a more practical sense, just sacrificing your wants and desires for someone else. Okay? And the Bible says this is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, so also ought we to lay down our lives for one another. Right? So that's kind of the thing. And then there's a whole chapter, 1 Corinthians 13, that basically defines in depth what love actually is as the Bible means it. The Bible doesn't mean love as just rubber stamp anything someone does, never call them out on anything. That's not what the Bible means by love. It means sacrificing yourself, and sometimes sacrificing yourself means saying things that you don't necessarily want to say, but for the good of the other person. Even if the other person doesn't receive it with good, you still are called to do that. Okay, joy. Joy is not an emotion, okay? So you can have joy while you are in mourning. You can have joy in sadness. I remember on the day of my mom's funeral, I spoke, and I remember telling a story about her and laughing and crying at the same time. Why? Well, because I was sad, I was in mourning, but I also had joy. So joy is not so much an emotion as it is a choice of saying, like, despite the fact of what I might be facing or what I might be going through, I still choose to have my ultimate comfort found in Jesus. So, and the Bible says that he turns our mourning into dancing, which that's also true. But that's more of like an emotional thing that God will help us with. But joy, you can have joy in all sorts of circumstances. In fact, the Bible even says that Jesus, when he went to the cross, he did it for the joy that was set before him. So there was joy. Jesus had joy dying on the cross for our sins, even though he had very real sadness, betrayal, pain. They were all very real physical things, yet he had joy. It says, who for the joy set before him, faced the cross and scorned its shame. Yes, and so that's an interesting concept that not everybody is necessarily familiar with. Not everybody's necessarily familiar with the fact that you can have joy in the midst of pain. But you can find, and I would say it's similar maybe to, and we'll go on to the next one too, which is peace, right? You can also have peace in trouble. It is. No, I mean, yeah, obviously I don't want you cursing, but yeah, like, it is, it's weird, but I've experienced it, like I said, on the day of my mom's funeral, both laughing at the joyful memories that I had with her, but of course in sadness, in mourning for actually losing her and not having her around anymore. No, it's good. Like, I am trying to clean it up because we've started having a few more curse words come through, and I just want to make sure that, not every topic we talk about is going to be family friendly, but I want the chat to at least be family friendly. I never know when my wife and kids are watching, so I want to keep it clean for them. So then peace is also similar to that, right? Like, so you can have peace in the midst of chaos. And that's exemplified multiple times in the Bible, but when Jesus, one of the most notable ones I can think of is when the disciples get on this boat and they put out, and then like a storm comes up on the lake, and Jesus is in the bottom of the boat sleeping. He's literally taking a nap, and meanwhile all of his followers who are up on the boat in the midst of the storm are panicked that they're going to drown. And these aren't just like, landlubbers or anything. I mean, he had followers who were fishermen. Like, they knew boats, they knew weather, they knew seas, and yet Jesus exemplifies peace in the storm in multiple ways. First of all, he sleeps because he's resting, because he knows that storm is not going to end in death, because he has peace and he has like a perfect relationship with his Father. So he we could roll with that, Dave. So he's got peace, and then when the disciples in a panic wake him up, then he literally says to the storm, "Peace, be still," and he speaks peace into the midst of a storm. And so that's just kind of another trait that you can have, is that the fruit of the Spirit are not, now in your personal existence, there's going to be times, we're finally pulling into this drop off here. This is a drop off that is generally a lower tipping zone too, so it's kind of all lines up with this not being the greatest drop off spot. That's okay. So peace is something that you can experience in spite of your circumstances, right? You can love people in spite of your circumstances. I tell my kids this all the time. Just because you're angry or tired or upset doesn't give you the right to treat someone else poorly. You still need to show love when you're upset. Well, the same thing is true. Just because you're sad doesn't mean that you can't still experience joy. Just because your life is in chaos doesn't mean you can't have peace. Okay? Patience. Patience, the Bible states that God is patient. He's patient for us, waiting. He's waiting for the full people to come into belief in him. So, and the Bible actually says that God is patient, not wanting anyone to perish, but all to come to eternal life. And so he's got this level of patience that God doesn't just give up on us when we make one mistake, or when we make the same mistake 100 times. He just doesn't give up on us. So, yeah. So it's Galatians 5, I believe. I believe it's Galatians 5:22. Someone can cross-reference me on that, but my kids have been memorizing this for church. So, okay. So patience, basically, you give other people the benefit of the doubt. You kind of give people the time that they need to do to process the things that they need to process. All these different things. So I gotta drop off here in just a second, guys, so hang tight with me here. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going, but I'm just gonna take this spot here really quick. All right, love, joy, peace. I'll pick up with a little more about patience here. Hold on. So let me do this. Kind of pause orders after delivery because we're in a really bad delivery zone here. Trying to see where we are on this map. I'm not sure which building I have to go to. There you go. Yep, Galatians 5:22. All right, I'll be back. We'll talk more. Ooh. Wow. So DoorDash did. They're trying to disguise this now more. $5.75 base pay with a $1 tip. So I mean, in the end, you get paid. I mean, that's a bad order. I don't know. Is that a good thing or not? If DoorDash is compensating for poor tips, but I just say, like, just put $5.75 base pay on every order. If you can do it on one, you can do it on them all. All right. So patience. Basically, the idea of giving grace, giving other people time, but then also just sometimes it's not even other people. Sometimes it's just being able to take that sigh and breathe and relax. Like maybe you're stuck in traffic and there probably is someone who caused it all, but you know what I mean. There's not an individual person you're being patient with in that circumstance. You're simply you just need to be patient. You can't speed the process up. You're stuck, or there's something going through and you're waiting for things. So like I'm practicing patience here and trying to get all this paperwork done to get into this new place, because like we're running out of time. We're trying to get out of this place that we're in. We're trying to get into this new place, and it's like every time I think we're done, there's more paperwork, there's more fees, there's more whatever. There's just more. So it's like, okay, I just got to be patient. I got to understand that there is a process and I am not in control of that. And so it's like, okay, so you kind of get things. And I've got a broader point for all this. All right, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. All right, this is the basic stuff. This is the you go the old school blockbuster: be kind, rewind. Right, just putting other people's needs ahead of yourself. And so you just want to, in kindness, you're not necessarily, it's not always about just like having a smile on your face and being nice, but it's genuinely looking out for the interests of others. The Bible says each of you must look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. And so when you're dealing with kindness, you're starting to think like, okay, kindness is probably the one that we like to teach the kids the most. We sometimes try to teach them patience too, but that doesn't always work that well. But we try to teach them kindness. Like, okay, just because they were mean to you doesn't mean you should be mean back to them. Just because whatever, something doesn't go your way doesn't give you the right to treat other people like trash. All right, so this idea of just being kind to other people. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. Okay, goodness, I would put that similar in the category of righteousness, of just choosing to do the right thing, choosing good even when everyone around you is choosing evil. And so this idea of saying like, okay, well, I know there's people who are cheating the system in this way, and I know there's people who are doing this, there's people who are breaking these rules, but I'm going to do my best to do what I understand to be morally correct in a situation. Okay? And I'm not going to, this is not a political point, but it's the first example I can come up with. Goodness would be if you look at all the candidates running for a political position and you just cannot align with any of them, of writing in or choosing a third party candidate. That's like a goodness sort of thing. Now, again, this is a very broad example. Goodness is when people are violating terms of service of Instacart by using bots, and you choose not to do that as well. Like, now, certain thing, and I'm not, the hard thing with goodness is that with a lot of things, there's actually a lot of, there are certain things in the Bible that are clear, morally right, morally wrong. But there are other things that are actually a matter of conscience, the Bible says. So an example that was true in the days of when the New Testament was written is that people were sacrificing food to idols. And so sometimes someone would see the food was sacrificed to an idol and they would be like, hey, it's just food, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat it, I'm hanging out with my friends, it doesn't mean anything to me. But to other people who came out of that, if they saw food being sacrificed to an idol, they would just be like, oh, there's no way I could eat of that, right? So that's a thing where there's not a morally right or wrong answer. But what is good for each person is relative to the moral compass that God has placed inside of them. And so Paul literally counsels them, and he says, eat whatever food is put before you without worrying if it was, without raising questions of conscience. In other words, you're free to eat that. But if your conscience is threatened by eating food sacrificed to idols, then don't do it. So he basically says you're free to do it, and you're also free not to do it. But someone who felt free to eat food sacrificed to an idol because they were never enslaved in that, and they just didn't feel like that was a bad thing, if they chose not to, like out of guilt, then they're not actually doing the good thing. They're not doing the thing that God has freed their conscience to do. In the same way that a person who felt convicted not to eat that. And so this is the problem why a lot of churches split, is they take things of conviction and then they make full doctrines out of them, make or break doctrines. And that's really not how most of these things are. I mean, there are set doctrines, but there's lots of little things that churches split up over that are not doctrinal. They're purely a matter of opinion. So that's things like when churches split over whether you should have pews or chairs, whether you should have drums or no drums, choruses, choirs, or modern worship music, right? Like, these are all questions of conscience. And the Bible basically says on these questions of conscience things, you're free to do whatever your conscience tells you you're free to do. And if you're not, if your conscience forbids you and you participate, then to you it is sin. And there's a verse that runs through my head a lot. And I especially tie it to when I see litter on the ground, which is kind of interesting. And not like every little piece of trash or anything, but if I notice something, the Bible says, anyone then who knows the good he ought to do and doesn't do it sins. So if you're walking down the street and you see a piece of trash and you know you should pick it up and you don't do it, according to the Bible, that's sin. And that becomes a lot easier. I think it's actually a much easier way to figure out what God's will is in your life. Because, yes, Halloween would be another thing, Jaeger, right? So it's like, I know there are people who are just like, absolutely don't want to participate in it. And then there's people who are like, I see nothing wrong with it. And both sides will debate you from scripture. Both make very good points. And the way I handle it is, if your conscience tells you not to celebrate Halloween, don't do it. We actually had this conversation back at Halloween, if you guys remember. Like, some people were like, I refuse to deliver on Halloween because I don't want to have anything to do with the day. And other people were like, I'm going to be out delivering on Halloween so I can make more money, so I have more money to give away to my church. Right? It's like, it's literally that. And neither of those people is necessarily wrong, unless they're lying about what their conscience is telling them. But I'm going to take at face value, neither one is wrong. So are you wrong to give out candy on Halloween? Are you wrong to hand out something, invites to church with your candy on Halloween? Like, I used to always do that. We'd always have like a youth group party, and then I would invite kids to, everybody who came to church, I would invite them to come to youth group, the following week or whatever, and different things like that. So, yeah, so goodness is basically, it's whatever you ought to do based on what the Bible teaches you in certain truths that are undeniable, as well as in other areas, questions of conscience. So just for me, like, there's just often been times where I see like a piece of trash on the ground, or like I'll throw something out and I'll see that I missed the trash, and my conscience immediately says, you need to go pick that up. It's like it might just be a little paper. It might be like a little sample paper from Costco. But my conscience testifies in that moment that I need to go do that. And, yep, exactly. Yep, anyone then, I know in a different version, anyone then who knows the good he ought to do and doesn't do it sins. But I mean, that's exactly it. And so that's what I would consider as a broad definition of goodness. Okay, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Okay. Faithfulness, it can mean a lot, but I think in this context, the primary fruit of faithfulness is that you remain trusting in God regardless. again, just like joy can be regardless of circumstances, that do you trust in God in the easy times only, or do you only run to God in the hard times and ignore him when it's easy, or do you only follow God when it's easy and as soon as it gets hard, you go your own way? Faithfulness says, I will follow God through the good times, through the bad times, through the hills, through the valleys, through the ups, through the downs, right? And so this is demonstrated throughout the entire book of Job, that Job goes through it, and doesn't mean Job doesn't have doubts or emotions, but he stays faithful, and he has questions, and some of those questions, or really all of those questions, never really get answered. But he has this, he chooses to remain faithful to God, not just when his life was good, not when he had everything, but also when he lost everything, and then again at the end when he gets everything back and then some. So that's the idea of faithfulness, is that you're good, you stay firm all the way through. And of course, the ultimate demonstration of this is Jesus, who remains faithful to the Father's will all the way through to the cross. Okay, so all the way through to the cross, Jesus remains faithful. In fact, one of his last prayers is, Father, if it be possible, take this cup from me, but not my will, but yours be done. Okay, not my will, but yours be done. And so faithfulness is essentially, that's the prayer. Like, God, I'm going to follow you no matter what, but in the end, not my will, but yours be done. Another semi-famous story, if you're familiar with the Old Testament, is the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And some of you may have heard this story, but even if you have, you may not know that those were not their given names. Their given names were Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael. That were their Hebrew names. Their Hebrew names gave glory to God, but they were taken into captivity, essentially as slaves, but certainly taken into captivity against their own will, and they were given pagan names that essentially gave praise to false gods. Well, anyway, an edict goes out from the king that when the horn blows, everyone has to bow down and worship the king. And they say, no, we're not going to do this. We refuse to participate in this. We're not going to do it. And the king gets angry and says, I'm going to throw you into the fiery furnace. And they say this, and this is kind of like the idea of faithfulness. They say, our God is able to save us from the fire, but even if he doesn't, let it be known this day that we will never bow down and worship you, O king. That's what faithfulness is. Faithfulness is, I don't care what I have to go through. I'm not going to turn away from what it is that I have said that I believe in, right? It's kind of faithfulness is like the opposite of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is, I'm just going to follow Jesus, or I'm just going to follow my belief system. This doesn't even have to be religious, right? Right? So you have people who'll be like, I'm just going to do my thing until I don't. Right? You're like, whereas a faithful person says, like, I'm going to be it. And like think about someone that you would consider faithful. It's someone who makes a promise and sticks to the promise, right? And so, and I don't mean to bring this in a political thing, but this just happened. And so, it's a relevant comparison for this topic, not from the political side, but just from the negative side. So for years, Joe Biden has promised he was not going to pardon his son. He'd been on record. There's like multiple times. He, the White House, the staff, they all said it. And yet, in the end, he pardoned his son, right? So Joe Biden was not faithful to what he had stated he was going to do. He did not remain faithful to that conviction that he had stated. And in the end, he went against it. And so that's an example of unfaithfulness, right? And of course, when you hear of someone being unfaithful, we usually think about it in the context of getting married and someone cheats on someone, right? They're being unfaithful. Well, what does that literally mean? It means they made promises and now they are not holding to those promises. They have broken those promises. So someone who's practicing faithfulness in their relationship with God is saying, look, if I'm a millionaire, I'm going to be content and I'm going to follow you. And if I have nothing, I'm going to be content and follow you. And if I'm anywhere in between, I'm going to be content and follow you. And Paul kind of gets to the heart of this too. He says, I've learned the secret of being content in any and every circumstance. Now, he's talking about contentment there to a certain extent. Obviously, that's the main thing, but that's also the idea of faithfulness. Is like, how can you be content in any and every circumstance? Well, because you realize that God has been faithful to you, and because of that, then you're choosing to be faithful to Him in any and every circumstance. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness. It comes next. Okay? The Bible admonishes us, says, let your gentleness be known to all. In other words, people need to know that you're not going to deal with them harshly. I think one of the biggest problems with Christians who get involved with politics is sometimes they lack the gentleness. Sometimes they forget the journey that it took to get them to where they are, to what they believe. And so that's why I feel like this is probably one of my stronger areas naturally, is just being gentle. It's kind of this idea, it's not necessarily about showing grace, but it's about understanding that not every person is in the same situation you are. And so, for example, I'll give you one way that I try to practice gentleness, and it's how I talk about people who are non-tippers. I'm fairly critical of this idea of just calling non-tippers scum or losers or trash or those things, because if I'm doing that, then I'm speaking poorly against someone who was created in God's image. Now, I don't have an issue talking bad about the apps themselves, because the apps are inanimate things. Sure, people have put their thoughts and work into them, but they're just inanimate things. Like, so I have no problem calling an app trash, or an order is trash. But it's me saying an order is trash is a business decision. It's not a commentary on someone's humanity or anything like that. And so I always try to assume, like, okay, maybe there's a reason why. There can be reasons why someone doesn't tip, and they might not line up with reasons that we do. So, so there's just a lot of things. So the idea of gentleness is like just having understanding for other people, not bashing someone over the head if they don't get something or if they don't understand something right away. Yeah, well, I mean, from a very practical sense, Tim, exactly. But the apps are also the reason why we depend on tipping in the first place. So the apps could also eliminate any of this tipping thing by just offering a fair wage and allowing tips to be extra above and beyond. And I don't think that's a wrong thing to maybe try to work towards and campaign towards and do that. I mean, I'm just fairly convinced. All right, we got a plus offer on DoorDash Silver. $6.75 plus for 3 miles from Chipotle. I got to turn back around now. So at least we got a plus order here. So again, the apps could easily work out a system that was very much based off of, we're just going to pay you as the driver a fair wage for the work that you do, and the customer chooses to tip above and beyond. That's great. I mean, so they have the ability to do that. They just have chosen not to do it. But yeah, even the apps are not. It's not like it's one person making every single decision. It's a group of people. So it's different. But in terms of like, I think it's always dangerous to call like even millionaires or billionaires. People call they're trash billionaires. Like, really? So either a billionaire is doing what is right or is not doing what is right. But almost always people are judging what a billionaire is doing as right or wrong based on through their lens, right? And if you judged them through the lens of someone significantly poorer than them, basically all those same criticisms could hold up. So, well, right. And so, but here's the problem is, DoorDash is the problem. Well, any of these apps are the problem because there's a middleman now. And so the middleman jacks up the prices. And so people know what it costs to eat at their favorite restaurants. So I had a interesting thing here, and we've got one more fruit of the spirit we'll get back to, but On Instacart, I had a $20 off your next purchase of $35 or more on Instacart. And so I was like, I looked at it, I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe I could find something for my family. Like, this was yesterday. I went to look at it. It's like, maybe I could find something for my family that'll be, you know, like find a couple of pizzas that are like $18, $19 a piece, and then, you know, leave a little bit of a tip and everything. Well, it didn't matter what combination I found, because no matter what combination it was, after all the service fees and everything, every single order I could come up with still was running $25. You know, close to $30 on pretty much everything, even with $20 off of $35, because even after the $15, there was like $10 to $12 in fees, and then of course you're gonna add a tip on that as well. You know, so yeah, there's a middleman problem, and that solution is get rid of the middleman. But the only way you're going to really do that is if you're going to build a network. And then the question is that really what you want to do for the rest of your life? Is building a network, and is building a, you know, because even building an app where you're going to hire other people to be your delivery drivers under you, like, I mean, it's possible, but is that really what you want to build into? Or would you rather just build into something else? And I mean, I can't answer that for you. I can answer for me. I just don't have any interest in building out a full new, you know, delivery structure, because it's not, I'm just doing this because I have to right now, not because I want to. So, all right, we're going to come back and we'll talk about self-control in a second here. So this is like $6. It's probably a $7 order. It's 3 burrito bowls. I don't know, maybe it could be a $10 tip. But it is a plus offer on DoorDash Silver. So we'll go ahead and throw the sign up here tonight. There's the BRBs. right, a little bit of a delay, but we had to get there. Let me get caught up on chat here really quick. Yeah, no, I agree. So it's just 4 sweet and sour packets? That's hilarious. I bet you they just got missed. They got like missed on the original order, so then they just sent a new driver. All right, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, right? And then self-control. That's the last one. I think we caught him on. Oh, yeah, that's actually just what he ordered. That's hilarious. I mean, yes, it should not be allowed, but I still think that's really funny. All right, we got to just kind of go some zigzag back roads here behind this. So this actually is a plus order. It's probably either going to be 7 or 12. It's hard to know. It's 3 burrito bowls going to a fancy place. It could be a $5 tip. It could be a $10 tip. Just my 2 best guesses. All right, so self-control. We kind of know about this. So I was saying, like, gentleness is maybe my strongest. Self-control is probably one of my weakest areas of these. And so it's self-control. There's a lot of this too where I like to say, are you guys gonna go? What are you doing? Look, let's just walk. Let's walk. We want to go. I want to deliver this Chipotle. Oh, we're gonna just walk down the road. Fun. You know, so choosing, you know, basically choosing to deny yourself something. And the irony is the vast majority of the time, when you deny yourself something, it actually is going to pay you benefits in the future, but it's hard to realize that in the moment. So people struggle with self-control. I mean, I don't even talk about people. I can just talk about me. Things I've struggled. There's lots of areas I've struggled with self-control over the years. So eating time, struggle with self-control. Staying consistent, like I was telling you guys before, like that's just also, like that's an element of self-control, right? Like, I'm going to choose to go on YouTube today. I'm going to choose to go out and deliver even though I don't want to. Now, obviously we want to be mastering all of these areas, but if you're like me and you're a human, you probably don't have all, 9? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness. Yeah, all 9 of these fruit probably aren't all the same size in your life. You probably have some of these that you say, hey, I do pretty good. And that then goes back to, for me, going to rely on the Holy Spirit, deepening my relationship with God. And the cool part is the more that you invest in these things in your relationship with God, then the more it will overflow into your life. So the Bible says that out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. I use that verse. We talked about that last week, I think, too. It's this idea that sometimes when people are drunk, you know, or under hypnosis or whatever, they'll like tell you truths that they might not normally tell you. Well, why? Because there's no filter, there's no censor that's gone out. So what's truly in their heart is what comes out of their mouth. You know? Or sometimes maybe you even caught yourself where you've said something and you're like, whoa, I didn't really mean that. So where did that come from? Well, somewhere in your heart, that thought was still there. Even if you would say you don't believe it, you know, for your mouth to speak it, it had to come out of your heart somewhere. When you speak things that are evil, when you speak things that are not loving to other people. So this just kind of the general concept, but here's the thing: none of these things are about doing more. It's more about becoming that person. And more specifically, the way I like to look at it is, if you start asking God to help you with these particular areas, He doesn't necessarily just give you patience, right? You don't say, God, I need more patience. He doesn't just give you patience. What He does is He are spiritually endowed upon you. But also, is this the same place that we had that canceled? I'm just wondering if this is the same place we had that canceled Five Guys order from last week. I think it actually is. I don't think it's this. Yeah, it's the same complex. It's not the same exact building, but it was right here. That's where I waited for 15 minutes on, was that Thanksgiving Eve night, trying to drop off that Five Guys order, which we ended up having as a family on Sunday. Yeah, so essentially, yeah, they're like muscles that you have to build. And so when you start out, you're weak. Like, you're just weak in these areas when you start out. There's a guest parking spot here. Oh, there's like just water. Like, if you if you accelerate too far right here, you're just going right into there. Yeah, but I actually kind of like this direction. So like, I appreciate you guys. So we're gonna keep talking here in a second. So let me go figure out where exactly I'm dropping this off, and then I'll be back with you. It's a 675 plus. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be the 7. But you can put your guesses in the chat if you want on how much you think the total's gonna be. That was a lot more confusing than I thought it was going to be. All right. There's the total. There's the 7. I confirmed it right away, hoping that we would get an order quickly, but yeah, well, so that's exactly it, is the power of community, and then the power of people working together and pushing each other. Like, it's helpful, but that kind of goes both ways too, in the sense, like, some days you guys are just, you're my only motivation to go out. Like, yes, I have goals and other things, but you know, some days you just need the extra, what's the thing that's going to get you out the door that day. And some of you guys probably are a lot better with staying motivated than I am too. And if you are, I certainly applaud you. Like, that's awesome. And I appreciate it. And I think that's why the best of the motivational speakers, first of all, the best of the motivational speakers have all done it. They're not coming to you saying, well, yeah, get out there and go do it, and meanwhile I'm going to just sit on my couch all day. No, like, they're doers. They're doers who are actually doing. We're going to just, I've got no plans here. Like I said, all night. We're just going to kind of head in the direction of Magic Dumpster. We got everything on, but it's super slow out here tonight, guys. We have 2 orders. We're still at 69%, so I have no idea how many. We might have to take 20 orders in a row till we get back to platinum. There's just no way to know unless you're actually manually keeping track, which I am not. So all right, so here's a question that I want to, kind of where I started off the night too. What do you, from a streamer standpoint, how do you think one should balance authenticity and being real with also being consistent and working to do things? Like, I understand certain things, like if you're just playing a role, you're playing, that's your shtick, you play the role, that's fine, right? But it is interesting though, because I noticed, not just tonight too, over time, people will instantly cue in on things like, wow, are you okay? Like, I mean, I might even feel the same. Then it's like, people are visibly, like, they'll pick up on things like, oh wow, like, well, I appreciate it, Ryan, thank you. But I mean, these are difficult things, I think, that I'm just starting to scratch the surface on when it comes to the world of streaming and everything. It's like, I even saw it, I was watching a video today, and it was like a good DoorDash story, and the commenter said, but here's the thing, I don't cover stories like this that much because it's the negative stories that get the clicks. Like, and that's so true. Like, if you want to grow fast on YouTube in like the gig tuber world, just go negative. It's the easiest thing to do. I think it's a lot harder to try to go out there and be positive and be a positive example and show people how to try to push through on a day when you're not feeling the greatest, or when you're not 100% all in, you still try to do your best. Well, that's pretty cool, Ryan. Right? Like, so I think that there's something to that. And, you know, everybody will say to you, oh yeah, I want people to be authentic. But then when you look at, you know, the biggest streamers, the biggest YouTubers, biggest streamers, all of that, it's got a lot of people who are just playing the role. And I'm not just talking in the gig tube industry now I'm just talking on all the YouTube, right? And if you handcraft a video, I think there's a distinction here too between live and pre-recorded. If you handcraft a video, you've got time to edit out these things. But when you're live, you're live. And the longer you would try to keep a shtick going of pretending to be someone that you're not on a live, I think the faster it would catch up to you and it would shine through. And I guess just in my particular context, hey, they pulled over a car with a front light out. That's why they always pull me over. They don't pull over speeders in our town. They don't pull over red light runners. But if you've got one of your headlights out, the cops will pull you over in this town. It's really kind of funny. There's an ambulance coming, but they're still pretty far away, so. It's an interesting thing, and I think by the time most people hear of most famous YouTubers, they've kind of worked through all of these problems. I'm gonna go ahead and pull over here now, because they are coming. And there they go. So we're kind of on our way towards downtown. Right by Turco Taco actually is the hospital. So that's why a lot of times when we set up down this way, you hear ambulances a lot. It's the downtown hospital where I was born. Baby Asideofhustle was born there. So anyway, I just think there's a lot of interesting things that I'm sure I'm going to be facing from the YouTube side of trying to figure out who I am as a creator and how to make sure that stays in line. Because I don't want it to ever be like, when you guys meet me, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, he's completely different in person than he is on YouTube. Like I'm a real person with highs and lows and ups and downs just like everybody else. And kind of a lot that kind of runs through my head, and things that I'm trying to work out as well. So and I'm sure every YouTube channel kind of goes through. I think the situation I'm in right now too is trying to really figure out what this channel is all about, and making sure it's about something that I'm going to be happy doing for the long haul. Doesn't mean like the content can't pivot some over time, but just in general, really trying to nail down who I am and what I'm all about in regards to this channel as an actual creator here. I think it's kind of difficult because my interests here are kind of, I don't want to say conflicting, but they're not necessarily coherent with each other either. You got sports, you got the spiritual, but then you also have like the life improvement stuff, the financial side. So it's a lot of different things, and really trying to nail down mentally what that all looks like. It's an interesting thing. All right, it is. I kind of forgot. It's holiday parade tonight downtown. So we're gonna park by Magic Dumpster, but I'm not 100% sure. This is gonna be a good place to be or not. Like, you can't even go down the main 5th Avenue, so we may not stay here for super long. We got people everywhere here, so we talked about coming down to the parade as a family, but I don't know, we could just go to the parade. We could go. I'm here. I don't even know what time the parade goes till, or where exactly we'd have to go. You guys want to go see the parade? We'll go walk over that way for a little bit. I'm gonna pause DoorDash for right now. All right, let's go. I think we're at a point where we can see some stuff. So I'm not really sure. I've never actually been down for this parade in all the years we lived down here. There's an orange float. I'm not going to push to get like super close. We're going to see a parade. Gonna have to change the title of this. Food delivery, ask me anything, plus Naples parade. Let's see if we can, I don't even know if I can get up close. We may just kind of hang back. Well, that's nice, Kaylee. Sorry, there's not a good place for me to stuff. Let me see what if I can find a spot. I'm just too far back. You can magic dumpster for the parade. Unplanned parade. This might explain why there's like no orders at the night. Here comes a boat. Call my wife. Call my wife. That is true, Kaylee. Hi. So I ended up downtown, and I'm just streaming the parade right now. So if you guys want to watch. So it's up to you, or save it for like tomorrow night or something. It's like, so it's coming down 5th, and then I'm at where it bends from 5th to 8th. Well, this is like a softball team right now. I don't know. It's the Knight. It's the Knight. All right, that's them right now. To the top. Oh, sorry. And then you got a bunch of kids on with lights. So, but if she's on the Knights, then you can say that you at least got to see her team. Like and subscribe for Christmas. Yeah. No. It was so slow. I got like 2 small orders on DoorDash, that's it. And I was like, well, let's go park downtown. I'm like, oh yeah, this is why it's so low. Because there's literally everybody is here. But we're thinking maybe after the parade orders will be good, because everyone's gonna. So figure we'll just come and enjoy the parade for a few minutes. It's Naples BMX. Their slogan is "No one rides the bench." This is the Gathering Church, and they're doing like bubble foam. Yeah, like bubble foam. Hey guys, you guys need to show love, okay? There's a bubble, see him? Oh, it's TP. Yeah, that's more like it. I think it's Rita's, guys. Yeah, it's Snoopy with a Rita's. Rita's is wearing a Charlie Brown shirt. See that? Yeah, all the people are dressed like Peanuts characters. See Lucy? A Snoopy and Woodstock. Alright, this is Naples Golden Eagles Marching Band. probably about 5 minutes before I called you. I wasn't sure if I was going to get a good view or not, so not too bad. I mean, you got kids are lined up by the road for candy and stuff. Oh, this one's like a Candyland theme. The cupcakes. Next one, they've got umbrellas that look like jellyfish. Yeah, they got danglies coming from all their clear umbrellas. The drama club. Oh no, Posh. The Posh Mama Club. That is so Naples. Alright. Here's one of these cars that are all lit up. There's a bunch of these driving all over town though. Isn't that crazy? I've seen a ton of these cars. They're basically just, I don't know. Okay. So this is Young Life. Young Life Naples, which I think is a Christian organization. Yes. Yeah, I'm kind of by Cafe Milano at that corner, but not right at the corner, after they turn the corner. Got a cheerleading squad coming next. That's Gulf Coast Charter Academy. Who's that, guys? Keep watching. Yup. Cringe. There's the Grinch. This is the Naples High School cheerleading squad. Yep, it's the Grinch. Oh, and then the cat bus is put up like the bridge. Look at that, guys. That's cool. Ambulance. Yeah, a total switch, Ryan. We just, this is why there's no food delivery orders, because everybody's here, so. Yeah, I'm sure just so many people streaming and phones and everything. We didn't even give Magic Dumpster a real chance tonight, Ryan. We'll probably stay out afterwards, so see what else we can find. Yeah, sounds good. I'm gonna try to fix the connection really quick. I think, alright, well there's a surfing Santa. So the parade is to blame for no food orders, and then also the parade is to blame for the video being so blurry, but ah well. be an absolute mess getting out of down here too. Christmas flamingo. Their whole float just lost electricity as it came out. There's more boats. How's it going, Casey? I went out to deliver and I stumbled across Christmas Parade. So it's a little blurry because so many people are recording and doing stuff, but start getting that Christmas spirit. So. My other phone has like 0 signal down here anyway, so even if there were orders, they would not be getting through. Yeah, I think there'll be a nice rush. It's going to be short, but there'll be a rush for like an hour and a half, I would guess, after the parade is done. Where are people going to go? Chick-fil-A. The knees, I don't want to pass out. Minion. Fire truck duck. I feel like we're probably coming to an end soon.
got a golfing Santa now. Santa on a sea turtle. And there's another Grinch. He's back. The Grinch is back. This is like such a huge parade. This is like, they just keep coming and coming. At least one marching band coming around the corner. Good evening, Blue Eyes. I stumbled upon a Christmas parade, so I decided to do that instead of working tonight. Sorry, it's a little bit blurry. There's so many phones down here. Not much signal, but another Grinch-themed car here with the green fur. At our last house, we used to be able to go outside and hear this band. This one that's coming now, we used to be able to hear them practicing. This is the Naples, Florida Christmas parade. Caleb, how's it going? There were no orders, and I ended up downtown. I'm like, well, what's all this going on? I'm like, well, this is probably why there's no orders. Because everybody's watching the parades. The fact that the Girl Scouts are not handing out Girl Scout cookies and Thin Mints seems like a missed opportunity. Yeah, there was no money to be made tonight, so parade instead. goodness, I had no idea this parade was this long. If I'm doing this next year, I'm gonna bring myself a tripod and just film it and then just edit out the music and post-production. Oh well, we're having fun. And we weren't even here for the beginning of this.
I have no idea.
I don't even know how long the parade route is, but there's thousands. I mean, there's probably over 1,000 people in this parade, I would assume, just from what we've seen. You know, some of these bands have 100 kids. Every float's got like 10 plus people. So yeah, I mean, I'd guess there's probably 1,000 people in the parade. And I mean, just in the little section here, I mean, both sides of the street are lined. There's kids galore up front and candy and sticks and stuff. And I'm just on a small part of the street. So yeah, I mean, there's got to be, I'd assume there's a couple thousand people downtown. Chick-fil-A is going to be nuts. Taco Bell will be nuts. I'm going to move closer. It's a giant inflatable lobster. Okay, that makes my night. It's for Doug's Wicked Good Seafood. That's hilarious. Get on DoorDash. How come I've never delivered some wicked good lobster? All in for inflatable lobsters. Yeah, well, we knew about. They watched the stream for a little bit. So. Yes, I've never actually been down here in all the years that I've lived here. I've never even been down here for the parade, so. It would get kind of late for our youngest. It's really long. So crazy how big of a parade this is. Well, Grinch is definitely the most popular theme. I think these guys have towed my car before. There's Grogu. How's it going, playing sharks? I have. So orders were so slow, so I went to downtown, and turns out there's like a giant Christmas parade going on through the town. So yeah, so that was the plan. I was going to be delivering, and then we parked down here, and then this is why there's no orders tonight. There's thousands of people downtown just doing this Christmas parade. So I think there'll be a rush here, though, from whenever the parade is done to like 10 o'clock. I just don't know if there'll be good orders, but there's going to be a lot of orders. Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, they're all going to get slammed. I did 2 orders in like an hour before this and ended up at like $15, so. Yeah, just what it is, I think. Oh, we got some flamingo cowboys or cowgirls. I don't even know what to call this. Inflatable flamingo cowboys and cowgirls. This is so Naples. This is so like Florida. I don't even know how to explain some of this stuff. Oh, there's even like people. There's like people up above me, like up there watching too. That's so crazy. Sharks. I am Kaylee. I'm still here. There's no signal for delivery anyway downtown. Starting to see some of the families are starting to go, but I wonder if the end is near. There's like a lot of people are starting to go. So we might go in a few minutes and just get out of here, head towards like the mall. I bet there's gonna be a lot of people ordering food. I'm just kind of watching the sheer there's a lot of people starting to leave. So I think we're gonna follow their cue. I don't wanna get stuck. I don't really want to get stuck down here. So we're gonna say farewell to the parade for now. I'm not smart, but when I start seeing mass groups of people leaving, that means it's gonna be like impossible to get out of here anyway. But we're gonna get out of here, go north a little bit, head towards, I bet you pizza's gonna be good, right? So maybe we'll just go sit at Papa John's. That might be our best play. Go north, get out of the downtown a little bit. We'll go say goodnight to Magic Dumpster. Which we weren't even planning on like staying that long. So there's the vibe. And there's good old Magic Dumpster. Yeah, I mean, I might already be too late, but I don't want to get stuck in the back alley at least. That's fun. All right, sorry about that. Sorry, I saw it. So, yeah, we're already going to be partly stuck downtown. I think my goal here is head to pizza. That's the plan. I think pizza, I don't know, I can dash now on DoorDash, but I don't think I have consistent enough signal here. I need to get away from the crowd. So, yeah. Anyway, we got out of our back alley. Now we got to make a bunch of zigzags. And people are pouring out of here. So, I'm not turning anything on until I know I can actually move in some direction. So, anyway, we had a little fun. A little Christmas parade fun for the night. I'll try out a couple other apps and see if they're loading, and if they are. Yeah, see, I can do this. I can do my normal U-turn here too. Car in front of me couldn't do it, but I could, because I got a Pontiac Vibe with a really small turn radius. All right, so the plan here is just get out of downtown just a little bit, head north, go hang out near like Papa John's. I think pizza
could be a good option. I mean, there's going to be orders coming off of this. I just don't know if there's going to be good ones. But we shall see. So, well, Merry Christmas to everybody. I feel like I need to say that after watching a Christmas parade for a while. So I know it's kind of blurry down there. So if I were to record it again, I would just record it live and not stream it. And then upload it. And then I could go through and mute all the music. And then I could upload it. Because, yeah. I thought we were going to get away with just like marching band music, but there was a lot of people pumping in music as well. So. Anyway, we're going to go like 2 miles to our north here, 3 miles to our north, something like that. We're going to get out of the slog of downtown. That's what we're going to do. Get away from all the pedestrians, get away from all the traffic. Yep, I'll tell you what. Last night, Jameis Winston you saw his floor and his ceiling in the same game. But the problem is, I mean, I was thinking about it a lot, Jaeger. Jameis is just kind of like a slightly wilder version of Tua. Tua's ceiling is really high, but his floor is so low. And same thing with Jameis. Jameis' ceiling is really high. I mean, he can put up, 400 yards passing, but he can also just throw you the absolute worst interception at the absolute worst time. He's got skills. High ceiling, low floor, which makes him a very intriguing fantasy football pick. But so the ceiling is why he's still in the league. The floor is why he was backing up Deshaun Watson to start the season. But yeah, I mean that's exactly it. And you called it too. I was like, do you feel comfortable handing the ball to Jameis down, whatever they were, the final few minutes? Like, no, you don't. In the same way, do you feel comfortable handing the ball to Tua if you're down 7? No, you don't. You feel like it's more likely than not. How do I phrase this? More likely than not, you're not going to win the game if you have to put the ball in his hands. Whereas you compare that to Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jared Goff. You feel like if you're going to put the ball in their hands, they're probably going to win you the game. At least you have a better than 50% chance of winning that game. That's my take on it. So, all right, I think we're going to signal back because we're just getting pounded with Instacart orders out of nowhere here. Not good ones, but all right. I feel comfortable enough to at least turn on Uber and Grubhub down here. All right. And I missed my Dash Now slot, so I can't dash right now. I'm scheduled for like 9:30, but I bet you if orders start coming in, they'll open up a slot. Well, we started out with a couple of deliveries. Then we did a full Bible study on Galatians 5:22 and 23. Then we watched a Christmas parade, and now we're going to go try to deliver more food. That's the synopsis of our stream for the night. You never know what you're going to get. Never know. When you go out delivering, you never know who you're going to run into, what sites you're going to see. You get the full spectrum. Just like you got the full spectrum of Jameis Winston, $6 for 7 miles on Grubhub. We're gonna pass on that. I just hope that I can get enough. All right, my goal is dash until I hit platinum back. That's the goal. Probably need to plug in this streaming phone here too. How much battery did that use? Oh, only 14%. Never know what you're gonna get. Never know what you're gonna get. It's like the most random collection of tidbits. Alright, well, we're kind of by the mall. I'm gonna go set up at Papa John's. I think that's my best bet. I'm just waiting for DoorDash to turn red. Best price, period. Best price, period. $3 for 4 miles on Uber Eats. Yeah, see, like, I'm not worried about the quantity of orders coming out here. I'm worried about the quality of orders. Be interesting though, because if there's a lot of people ordering, like, the other part is, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be going this far north either, but my instinct says pizza. So we're gonna go check out Papa John's, see if there's any orders, post-parade orders. Yeah, I mean, because other than the parade, it is a normal Tuesday night, so it's like I'm just gonna get flooded with that type of order. Doesn't sound fun to me. I'm just waiting for DoorDash to go available again. It was available when I was downtown, but I wasn't confident in my signal down there, so now I just have to wait. Gots to wait. It's slow on Uber and Grubhub, so Instacart's not really doing much of anything either. I think it's weird that they do the parade on a, what is this, a Tuesday night? I do think that's kind of strange. Because, like, it's a normal work day for everybody tomorrow. School day for the kids. I don't know. All right. Well, my kids, they have their first ever Secret Santa exchange tomorrow. So they are looking forward to that. They're going to get their first Christmas presents of the year from that. So we're just out here hoping to find an order. At this point, like, I didn't think it was going to be so hard to find any orders. I wonder if I went too far north. All right, well, whatever. We're going to do what we do. Good evening to everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. We've got Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Instacart on. We're waiting. We have a DoorDash scheduled for 9:30, so if nothing opens up, we're going to be stuck waiting till about 9:15 before we can actually go on. But for right now, at least for a little bit, we're going to just go sit at Papa John's. Because I don't know what else is a better option on a night like tonight. Papa John's is on Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, and of course you can order through the Papa John's app, which sometimes gets outsourced to DoorDash. So I think it's a good place. It's also the type of place that I think if you were coming home from a parade, I think it either was something like this. Oh, there's a lot of cars parked here. Are they backed up? Wonder if my hunch is right and they just have a lot of orders coming in. It's like 5 cars here. I don't know. Or maybe it's from the rental car place. Well, don't have too much going on here right now. We're parked. We're basically just waiting to see if we can get DoorDash to open up. So again, this is the problem. If you're not a Platinum Dasher in my market and you're not scheduled, you're just not getting on most of the time. And you can bash the program all you want, but there's a huge difference between having DoorDash. Isn't it something like 70 or 80% of all food delivery goes through DoorDash, at least nationwide? Let me see. Let me look up that market. What is the DoorDash market share? It's huge. DoorDash has like a huge market share. %67%. That's as of March 2024. So out of every 3 food delivery orders that are made, and that includes all the restaurant orders through Instacart that get sent to Uber Eats, 67%. Like, you're losing that many orders. So like, since we left downtown, I've seen 3 orders. That means I should have seen probably had at least 6 more orders on DoorDash, and I just can't see them because even though I'm at 69% acceptance rate, even though I'm at a 5-star rating, even though I've made 149 deliveries in the last 30 days, it was actually in the 160s as of this weekend. None of those things matter. I mean, they matter, but none of them, those things alone are not enough to give you what DoorDash wants. They still want you taking 70% of the 67%. So, yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to sorry. Well, while we were down at the parade, we hit $600. Today is my best sales day of the year on Amazon, guys, officially. Passing one of our days last week. So, might end up being my biggest sales day of the year because I don't have much stuff going in to Amazon as we speak. But the good news is getting all that money out of the products that I bought with a little bit of profit. A lot of these orders should be shipped by this weekend. And my payout from Amazon is on Saturday, so once the orders get shipped, then it goes to my balance, and then my payout is every 2 weeks on Saturday, so should have a nice little payout for next week. There's an Instacart, but it's for a Publix way far away from here. I don't know if it helps or not, but I always feel like just closing the DoorDash app and then reopening it might kind of reset it. Let's see, is there... Yeah, I'm scheduled from 9:30 p.m. to 1:30. I don't really want to be out that late, but I do think I need to just kind of stay out until I get platinum, and then because I only have supper and late night, I don't even have my plan for tomorrow. I might actually do thrifting tomorrow. I'm actually thinking about just shopping thrift stores for Amazon products and try to build a next shipment that I can send in. Singing all I want for Christmas is you. Michael Bublé has a version. It's not quite as bad as that one. Oh, I know another Christmas song I hate. So all I want for Christmas is you and Christmas shoes. Here's the one I hate. Probably number 3 on the list. Santa Baby. Santa Baby. Santa Baby. So that was an interesting class, right? Because you had Burrow, Herbert, and Tua. They all came out in the same class. And what year was that? Was that 2021? Get my years right here. (2020). So that was the 2020 draft class. So that was the class. So let's look this up, because I'm actually kind of curious. He was one pick before Herbert. Yeah, Autobots. Let's go Autobots. So the Dolphins had their choice of Tua or Herbert, and they took Tua. That was the same draft as Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts. I don't think I realized that Jordan Love was that same year too. Did you know that, Yeager? For some reason, I was thinking Love was 1 year after. Your last order. I'm waiting for DoorDash to open up and hoping to get some order in between. But, so be safe out there. Be safe out there, Kaylee. All right. I don't think I realized. So, wouldn't that be interesting that in the end of that whole draft, Jordan Love ends up being the best quarterback at the end of his career? Of course, Jalen Hurts was that. That's a good quarterback draft. I mean, you can argue the order, obviously, how it played out. Is Tua like if... I'm trying to find a good comparison, and I just keep kind of going back to that Jameis comparison. That's what it feels like. He feels like there are games he can put up 400, and then there's games he's going to put up 4 interceptions. And not like mostly 400 games with a few 4 interception games. Like literally every game is a toss-up as to whether it's going to be a huge offensive game or not. '2020 NFL Draft. Good evening, Ava. Just finished watching a Christmas parade downtown for a little bit. So if you guys want to, I guess it's kind of blurry because the signal is bad, but if you guys want to go back, and we probably watched it for about an hour. Lots of Grinches in the Christmas parade, some marching bands and other things. Is there a dash along the way? I wonder if there's a dash along the way. Just so I can take orders. $8 for 14 miles on Uber. No, my whole area is grayed out. You broke your wrist? That's not good, Ava. How did that happen? Did you break your wrist at work, or did you break your wrist doing something else? I schedule, Kaylee, but my scheduled dash was 5 to 9, and it timed out while I was down there, and it wouldn't let me reset it. So I got to wait till 9:30. Well, 9:15 technically. Unless the slot opens up. So I paused it when I got down to the parade. A little kid slammed into a door. This is not good. This is not good at all, Ava. You can't be letting those little kids slam your wrist into the door. I hope you heal up soon. Are you getting a cast on and everything? Was the little kid a relative of yours or not? That's also a question. All right, get the cast. Get all the signatures. I was never either, however you want to call it, fortunate or unfortunate enough to break a wrist or have a cast when I was younger. Never broken a bone. I've gotten stitches multiple times, but never broken a bone. How close do I have to be to a zone to dash along the way? Apparently closer than I am. So one of your students got their revenge on you. I'm sure it was an accident, but... Well, I hope you feel better soon. Hope you get healed up. Maybe a break from Chick-fil-A will actually make you want to have their food again. Yeah, little kids like they have like such emotional damage when they like accidentally hurt someone. All my kids like go into a shell. They like absolutely tank. Because they feel bad, but they feel so bad they can't even say I'm sorry. So did that happen in the yesterday or today, or was that over the weekend? By the way, if I have to guess, our 4,000 watch, excuse me, $2 for 3 miles on Uber. Our 4,000 watch hour stream very well could be Thursday. 2 hours ago. Wow, it just happened. Now, are you still going to be able to teach? We're at 39:33 on watch hours, so we need 67 watch hours to go. It is very quiet on the delivery front as we speak. Poor kiddos, and poor you. Trying to negotiate an eBay deal. Trying, but you guys want to go on a road trip? $8 for 45 miles for PF Chang's. Every day. Every single day, PF Chang's get these huge long orders. I just want to sit there and find out who's taking them. That's what I want to know. I mean, do you think someone's taking these orders every day, or do you think they're just going to sit there and... I just can't imagine who's taking that order. Even if I live that direction, I wouldn't do that. Like, it's so consistent. They're almost all from PF Chang's. It's like at a certain time, all the PF Chang orders, because there's one to our north about 20 miles, 15 to 20 miles. I don't know exactly where. But like up in North Fort Myers, there's a PF Chang's. And then the next one is like Bradenton, Sarasota. So it is kind of a long drive regardless. Well, Uber's starting to pick up on orders here. So let's see if... Ooh, Marco is busy. Can I dash on the way to Marco? I can. Alright, so here's the trick. Oh. Well, this is usually a trick, but it's not going to let me do it. So if you can't dash, then you can just dash along the way. But because I'm scheduled at 9:30, it's not letting me even do that. So it won't let me go like 8:45 to 9:30. And I don't want to cancel my 4-hour dash that I have scheduled, which is the 9:30 to 1:30 shift. So I don't plan on being out till 1:30, but it'd be really nice if Earn by Time would be available too when I can do my dash, but I don't, yeah. So it feels like at a certain point in time, all the orders that are going to that Fort Myers location, maybe Fort Myers closes an hour earlier or something, and then they send them down here. I mean, it's like almost every day. Almost every day, like this time of night, after 8:30, you start seeing these like anywhere from 40 to, we've seen up to 100-mile orders from that PF Chang's. So I'm just curious, like they keep sending them, so is someone actually taking them? I would hope not, but I don't really know. I don't know what to think about our local delivery drivers. Because unless you live up there, that's 90 miles round trip. And at like 10 o'clock at night, there's no guarantee you're going to find yourself, you know, getting orders to come back home. And of course, the customers are not tipping thinking that the order is going 40 miles. They're thinking it's going to a much closer place. All right, well, the point is, if you can't schedule, but you do have a neighboring zone that's busy, then you can sometimes use dash along the way to get going, but just not today. All right, well, it is quieter than I thought it was going to be, but it just could also be the no DoorDash thing. Just not having access to those orders could be our issue here too. So we're just gotta wait. I mean, I'm getting a few junky Uber orders, no Grubhubs, not seeing any Instacart. That's super interesting. So it's just kind of a lot of sitting and waiting. So we had to get personal references, and we had to get actual personal reference letters to get into this place that we're trying to move into. And fortunately, I was able to find, we needed 3. I found 4 people who were willing to get personal references written up for us in a day. So we're gonna like overwhelm them. They asked for 3, we'll give them 4. So it's good. It's good to build relationships, because sometimes you need a favor. Sometimes you provide the favor, and sometimes you need the favor. We needed the favor today, so. Come on, DoorDash. Come Come on, DoorDash. We're just sitting here bored. What's going on? Like, I literally don't know what else to talk about. All right, let's see. Oh, college football rankings are out. They actually still have Miami ranked number 12 in the college football rankings. But that does not get them into the playoffs, even though there's the top 12 teams make the playoffs because of Arizona State. I mean, I agree that Miami doesn't deserve to be in, but also Alabama doesn't deserve to be in. I think 12 teams is too many for the college football playoff. I have been convinced. You're just now, you got 3 lost teams that are competing for national championships when it used to be like maybe a 1-loss team. Last year, like an undefeated Florida State didn't even have a shot at it. So I think we went from 4. You got caught by the train. 4 is not enough. So I think you could just go with 8. I think 8 might be the right number in college football. It would give you the 5 major conference champions, 1 mid-major, I don't know what you call them, less than major conference champion. That would give you 6, and then 2 wild cards. And that's enough. Does that mean Miami? Let's see. Miami's not going to jump over Penn State. Miami's not going to jump over Oregon. Who is playing this weekend that if they lose, Miami could jump over? Is there anybody? It's got to be a lower seeded, like who's playing in the SEC championship game? Something like that. Let's see what. It's Texas and Georgia. Is Clemson ahead of Miami? Probably not. Iowa State. I don't know. I don't think there's any path for Miami. I think barring something crazy, I think Alabama is going to make the playoff. The 3-loss Alabama. $6 for 3 miles on Uber. It's not an... Yeah, wasn't it good? Yesterday was really good. I haven't seen the Monday one yet. I'm assuming he put out if Monday Night Football were scripted. So I haven't seen that one, but... So it looks like Alabama is going to the playoffs. Alabama, unless barring something crazy. I don't even know what the crazy would have to be. Because the winner of Arizona State and Iowa State, I don't think there's. I think Miami's officially out. Because they're saying, who else could they jump? There's no one they could jump. Because either if SMU wins, they stay ahead. If Clemson beats SMU, Clemson jumps Miami. And that's even if they would drop SMU below Miami. So the first two out of the college football playoff is Miami and Ole Miss, Kaylee. Our two schools, the first two out. 76 deliveries to 10,000. All right, let me see if I can watch. Yeah, if there was a Monday night scripted, I'll watch that. $8 for 7 miles on Grubhub. I mean, I could take it, but I'm not. I'm not that interested in taking it. All right, let me watch scripted. Because I haven't watched it yet. That's a good line. I'm from Colorado. Caleb, it was a parade downtown. It was fun. All right. Well, we're doing nothing, so I'm gonna grab this. It's $8 for 2 miles, just so we do something. It's from 7-Eleven from Uber Eats. If it'll let us take it. That was very good. Yeah. I just watched the If Monday Night Football were scripted. So, all right, we're gonna go do this. We're gonna go get this. Not getting it because it's great. We're getting it because we're bored. It's the normal. I made sure it wasn't an alcohol order before I accepted it because I wasn't gonna take an alcohol order for $8. So it's Chex Mix, Kit Kat, Reese's Cups, Hershey's Bar, and it's just a pickup, so we don't actually have to. We don't actually have to shop for it. And then by the time we're done with this, we should be about ready to turn on DoorDash. So I sat here thinking there's lots of orders and lots of cars, but nobody's come in or out. So I think it's just overflow parking from, there's an Enterprise rent-a-car here. So Breakfast of Champions, you better believe it, Caleb. These, I love doing these orders. These are like the fun orders. When people order like a bunch of junk food late at night, like that's fine. I used to get these like regularly. Like I remember getting 2 or 3 of these a night. And they kind of just fell off. So we're gonna go get this. We'll get it dropped off. It's still right along our main strip, but maybe by the time we're done here, we can actually head back in the direction of Magic Dumpster because the parade might be cleared out. There's still a lot more traffic than normal for 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. So it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people heading home. Is that all you have to do? Is that it? That's the magic. Yeah, there's so many cars. I bet you a bunch of these people are all coming from the parade. So we're good though, not in a rush. I bet you a lot of people just went out to eat too. Well, I will know that for next time, Caleb. I'll be ready to go. The only problem is you don't know when you're going to get pulled over, so how are you supposed to know when to get your donut? Just have a bag of mini donuts ready to go. Isn't the whole thing though, like the whole cop donut thing, it's because donut places used to be like the only place, like coffee and donuts. They were like one of the earliest places open. It's like Dunkin' Donuts used to be like, I remember growing up. This particular 7-Eleven is a little bit slow. So hopefully we don't have to wait too long. There's not a lot of cars there, so that's a good sign. Alright, so here we are. We're arriving at this 7-Eleven. It's like $8 for 2 mile. It's just a time filler. We have a 9:30 DoorDash scheduled. I'm hoping there's going to be an earn by time available on that one, but we shall see. Even if there's not, though, we'll just take a couple of. I got a couple of junky orders in me. Oh, we can. It's busy. We can dash now. So I'm gonna hit the dash now, and then we'll pause. Just while we do this order here really quick. I'll be right back. Alright, we got everything picked up here from this 7-Eleven order. What I might do, just because this stream was so weird tonight. Oh, there's one of the floats. That's kind of funny. One of the floats just pulled in from the parade, just pulled into the gas station here. What if we just, I might just reboot the stream. Stream doesn't end until I hit Platinum Dasher. I think that's what I might do here. So I'm gonna go drop this one off, but I think we're gonna just reboot the stream, do a fresh stream, and I'll get hyped up, get my water ready to go. We've got 4 hours of DoorDash scheduled and ready to go in front of us. So I think that's what the plan's going to be. I think we're going to end this stream. So let me actually do that now. I just think it's the better way to play it, since our first stream was so interrupted. Maybe we'll find some new people. And sometimes it's just good to do a stream reboot, especially when we're like almost 3.5 hours, 4 hours in, whatever we are. Since we got a new DoorDash starting, we're going to just... Welcome back, Ava. So I think what we're going to do, Ava, and anybody else who's watching, unless you guys want to stick with this one, I was going to just start a fresh stream, but you guys let me know. Let me know if you want to just stay on. We'll be good. We'll keep going. But otherwise, yeah, I think just starting fresh in like 5 minutes. Sounds good. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna cut the stream here. I'm gonna drop this off, and then we'll get the next stream reloaded here. Favorite gas station? So if we're talking about only, like, my favorite thing to get at a gas station is a Slurpee. But at least of the ones that we have down here, Wawa is my favorite. Wawa's my favorite gas station. So, all right, yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cut the stream. I'm gonna just cut it here. Give myself like a 5-minute mental break to reboot. Get this order dropped off. We'll go set up somewhere where we might find orders here late at night, and we'll just do stream doesn't stop till I hit Platinum Dasher. And hopefully we will be able to do that. So, at least we'll set the goal. We'll set the goal. Get back to Platinum Dasher. And means we might be taking some crazy long McDonald's orders and stuff like that. But I know a lot of people down south like Buc-ee's. That's the one a lot of people like. I growing up in New Jersey. Yeah, so I knew Wawa from New Jersey, and now they've just come down here. But Texas and Louisiana, they like their Buc-ee's. Yep, Quick Trip. And then, like, get down in Missouri, they have QT. All right, so I will catch you guys in about, I would say, about 10 minutes. We're gonna go try to hunt down Platinum Dasher once again. All right, so we're gonna end here. I'm gonna reboot the stream, and then we'll go from there as soon as I'm out of this neighborhood I'm dropping off in. So thank you guys. I will see you in a few minutes.